Have you been feeling like no matter how hard you grind, something still is off? You might be stuck in a scarcity loop. Today, we're going to deconstruct the hustle culture through both the trauma-informed and the energetic lens. By the end of this video, you'll leave with a mindset shift and real practices to help you move from grind to grace. Great awakening, magnificent people. I am Jasmine D. Thank you so much for joining the Generational Rhodium, the media and healing component of HWPLP. HWPLP is health, wealth, prosperity, love, peace. We are a movement-driven investment firm committed to building generational wealth through healing, collective economics, real estate, and venture capital. We empower individuals to heal financially, build wealth strategically, and cultivate thriving, prosperous communities rooted in love and peace. Our mission is to merge economic growth with community development, with holistic well-being, ensuring that wealth is not just created, but it is sustained with purpose and intention. Before we dive in, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, feel free to visit our website to learn more about the movement at hwplp.com. And just to note, this episode ties to our monthly newsletter entitled Healing Before Hustling: Why Inner Work Fuels Financial Freedom. Now let's get into this discussion. When we think of hustle and the hustle culture, we also often say, oh, you're ambitious, you're a go-getter, you get things done. But beneath all that surface, it is just masking a trauma response to fight or flight. In 2023 and 24, the American Institute of Stress did a survey on people who were working in a work environment. From that survey, they did get 61% that said that they felt like they were productive at work. However, 80% also said they experienced productivity anxiety. And productivity anxiety is a chronic feeling of just like you're not doing enough. So even when people are achieving goals, they're doing well, they're getting accolades, they still feel like they're not enough. That is not work satisfaction, job production. That is trauma. Now let's break some things down from an energetic lens and the lens that most people look at it from. When we think of hustle, it equals survival. When you think of alignment connects to your sovereignty, your freedom. Let's break that down. Hustling is a trauma-informed state of overexerting, overworking, overpleasing, and it comes from a scarcity and fear mindset of not being enough. When you're thinking of survival comes from a reactive state where decisions are rooted in fear, lack, insecurity, and it shows up while we're overworking, people pleasing, and we want to avoid loss or rejection. So we're doing everything so that we don't feel those things. But when we have a shift and we move into alignment of our trueness, we're living and deciding and acting from a higher self. And this resonates with our soul. And that leads us to sovereignty. That is freedom from external validation. That is freedom from the programming that we have experienced our whole entire life. And that's also a break of the trauma and the patterns that we've had, maybe even passed down for generations. I want to take us back to 2019, 2020. Around that time, COVID-19 was setting in. Many people were very afraid, very nervous, very fearful for their job, fearful for their lives, fearful for so many things. But at the same time, everybody was at home. The beautiful thing is Mother Nature told us is what we should do in this time, because we saw the trees grow. We saw the air clear up. And we saw everything start to regenerate and heal itself, cure itself. just in a short year, you can tell very freely that when you looked outside, it was a difference. But at the same time, the majority of us were living in our homes and starting to set in how important relationships were, more important than money, more important than work, because people were experiencing levels of depression where they were lacking their joy, they're lacking their happiness, they're lacking their connection to others, because we need those authentic connections because they nourish our soul. However, when the pandemic ended, we didn't get back to our connectiveness. We got right back to running that rat race, right back to overworking ourselves, killing ourselves, and not even taking a moment and saying, you know what? I learned a lot when I had to be at peace, when I had to be in silence, when I missed my family. Instead, we just go back to that stress and emptiness of hustling. But our true abundance is returning to ourselves, to who we are, and just being in a natural state of flow, not by force, but by grace. So now, if you would please take a moment to indulge me, do a very quick breathing exercise just to calm you, just to calm us. Let's balance. This is going to be a 4-6-4-6 breathing exercise. That means we're going to breathe in at a count of 4, and then we're going to hold at a count of 6. Then we're going to exhale at a count of 4 and hold at a count of 6. We're only going to do this 3 times. And while we're doing it, I highly encourage you to close your eyes. If not, soften your gaze. And I'm also going to say some affirmations, and you can also say them in your mind's eye. The affirmations I'm going to say when we're inhaling is that I am enough. And when we're exhaling, I'm going to say, I have to prove myself, because we're releasing that. That is no longer our truth. So let's get started. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Inhale. I am already enough. Hold. Exhale. I have to prove myself. Release that. Hold. Last time. Inhale. I am enough. Exhale. I have to prove myself. I release that. Thank you. Now, as you open your eyes fully, take a moment to see how you felt during that time. How did you feel when you took a moment to breathe? Did it feel good? Did you feel balanced? Did it take you away from the moment, from all the things that you're thinking about when you started watching? It's good to take moments. Now let's continue. When we think about scarcity, what it does to us, it keeps us busy. But it doesn't just keep us busy. It keeps us disconnected from our true self. I'm going to give you 3 different costs that affect us because of the health hustle culture. The first thing is we have adrenaline fatigue. That's a deep depletion of our body's reserves. We feel drained constantly. We're in survival mode. We lack balance. We don't get enough rest, nourishment, and we definitely don't take moments of stillness. The next one is fractured self-worth. Forgetting the truth that I am worthy just because I exist. I am worthy. It just is. Instead, we self-worry. We doubt our self-worth. It becomes conditional. We deepen our productivity because we look for others to see the greatness in us because we can't just see the greatness in ourselves. The last one is spiritual disconnection. When we are in this state of hustle and grinding, we are so disconnected from our truth. We're so disconnected from our source. We're disconnected from our ancestors, our intuition, all things that make us whole, perfect, and complete. We are disconnected. We are chasing validation, feeling lost just because someone is not seeing our success. I've seen this in families and ancestors being passed down for generations and generations and generations of overworking, having to prove yourself, working yourself to the bone. It is a wound that has been passed down, and it is our choice and that our need to let it go. So how do we shift? How do we become more aligned with our true self, more aligned with our intuition so we can listen and grow and be the magnificence that we are? I'll give you 3 suggestions. The first one is doing energetic hygiene. Let me tell you what I mean when I say that. Energetic hygiene is protecting our peace, prioritizing our self-care, making sure that we're clean inside and out and our surroundings. Because if we are clear and clean in all those places we think clear, we move clear. We're able to be who we are because we are connecting with ourselves by giving the love that we need and desire every day. Number 2 is aligned time blocking. Taking time for yourself. Taking time to visualize, to meditate, to say affirmations, to just connect to you. Even the mindful breathing we just did, that's an example. Those are things that we should be doing on a regular basis. Taking time for us. We are important. And if we don't love ourselves enough to give us a little bit of time, how can we love someone else? How can we give someone else love if we're not giving it to ourselves? And the last one is an integrity filter. Know when to say yes and know when to say no. Create those boundaries. Trust your intuition. If something does not feel right, it is not. Let it go, move on, do something different. It's a reason why you don't feel good. But you have to be in tune to feel it. You have to be in tune to know it so that that intuition can speak to you and you can listen. I'll give an example of how I use these 3 tools to even develop HWPLP. HWPLP is something that has been evolving for my whole entire life. However, when I was at a precipice of not being who I was and who I had made myself to be for so many years, I started to go within, deep into my meditations. And in my meditations, it showed me a path to do what my soul has already decided to do before I even walked on this earth in this physical form. And so through those meditations, I continue to meditate and do what I have always seek to do, is help others help themselves. Not from a place of lack, not from a place of hustle, not from a place of force, but a place of alignment and knowing. And with that, the foundation was made for something that is so different and connecting so many key points for growth in our community. So, no, you were not born to hustle yourself into depletion. You were not born to live for someone else. Live your life fully, out loud. And don't care what nobody says, nobody has to say. It doesn't matter. It's your life, not theirs. You're worthy just because you exist. You have the power to choose. So choose wisely. Choose alignment with your soul. Now I'm going to close, and in the closing, I'm going to say the HWPLP affirmation. Heal your mind, body, and soul. Build wealth that is your birthright. Live in full prosperity. Love unconditionally. And live in a state of peace. And so it is. And so I am. And so it be. I want to thank you so much for joining me for the Generational Rhodium. I am Jasmine D with HWPLP, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, peace, love, and light. Thank you.